Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Nomad Weekly Lecture, the Digital Nomad World Weekly Lecture. And I am excited today to be with Liran Zablo, and we're going to talk about how to start your online business, in this case, drop shipping, and automating and scaling the business. Welcome to the show, Liran.
Hello, thank you, Becky. Thank you for having me. Real happy to be here. And yeah, let's get started. Hopefully, your viewers can get a lot of value from this. And I can help you from my real actual experience from being a dropshipper for the last 5 years. So yeah, let's have at it.
Yes, let's do it. So first of all, I want to hear your background, how you got started in this business and in the digital nomad life.
Yeah, sure. So when I was 15, I moved to Israel. I lived in Hawaii for 10 years. And since I moved to Israel, everything kind of changed since then. The language that I speak, the people I hang around with, the things that I do. So right after finishing school and being in the army for 3 years here, I quickly, had to find a job, and right after the army with no college education, because here at 18 to 21, we're pretty much spending those 3 years in the army rather than in college, which is what most people do. So I quickly had to find myself at a job and, making money and leaving my parents' home and having my own place and all of that. So I didn't start drop shipping right away. I was just working at sales positions in all kinds of different job companies here, different companies here in Israel. And at the age of 24, 25, I realized that none of this is enough. It doesn't matter how much I work at my office job. I'm always going to need more. Even if I make 2 times more than what I make today, I'm still going to need to make more. I mean, just, living a comfortable life today is not an easy task, and it shouldn't be easy, because anything that's easy, it won't get appreciated and won't have any value. Things do need to be a little bit challenging now and then. So anyway, so I realized that this isn't enough and I need something more. And this especially came when I was living with my wife, and she was pregnant with our first daughter. Today we have 2 out already, but back then it was just that one. And, I was just looking at the bank, looking at the finances, looking at how much we make, looking at how much we spend. And I'm like, I'm not sure how far we can get with this. And, we have a child coming. So I realized that I have to find another way to make an income. And then I just started searching the internet. And I don't want to be naive and look for things like how to make money online, because you're going to have so many search results and so many different types of blog articles and content taking you here and taking you there. But none of it was, specific enough to tell you, hey, here's a good niche. Here's what you need to do from A to Z. Here are the steps. Just do them the right way and you should be fine. So I was looking at all kinds of different types of ways to make money online, having creating online businesses. I knew that it had to be online. I didn't want to, like have a real store like here, like a local brick and mortar. I knew that I wanted it to be online, but I didn't know what I wanted. Then I came across the dropshipping business model. And even back then, it was in 2016, I believe. Even back then, there was a lot of content on dropshipping. Today, there's a lot more, but even back then there was. And I still wasn't able to learn. I like the business model where I can have an online store and I could just sell products without actually holding them in stock, meaning I don't have to put money on inventory. I don't have to, it's simply not a high risk. It's a very low risk that can turn a high reward when done correctly. But I didn't know how to do it. I love the business model. I read all kinds of articles on it. None of them were here to tell me, hey, here's what you need to do. It was just more like explaining how it works and what kinds of things you can do, but not how to actually do it. So I fell in love with this business model, and I really wanted someone to come and teach me, hey, look, here's what you need to do, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that's it. Your business will, start to move from there, and you can take it from there. So I started searching online for a course, for a physical course, here in Israel, a local course that can actually just teach me how to start a dropshipping business. And when you start to search for these things, you'll also get ads directed to you. And when I was searching, when I was just on my Facebook feed, I saw a course, a sponsored ad for a dropshipping course with lots of student testimonials. So I went through those testimonials, and I even messaged some of those students to make sure that it's real, because I didn't want to be naive. I didn't want to spend thousands not thousands, it's thousands of shekels, but let's say hundreds of dollars on something that won't turn, that won't actually work out. So I spoke to some students who actually took the course. They told me, hey, look, it's a good course. If you take it, you'll learn how to be a dropshipper. And I was like, all right, that's it, I'm in. I put my money on it. I took the course. It was 4 frontal, physical meetups in classrooms, and a few more, digital online. After about 2 classroom sessions, I had more information than what I needed. My first eBay store was already up and running, and I was already making sales. I was happy about it, and I figured that I don't need this course anymore. I learned everything that I needed, and now I can take it forward. So sorry for making it really long, but that's how it actually started. And that was 5 years ago, and I'm still doing that to this day. I've taught people how to do it, and I'm really happy to, not only be a drop shipper, but also work in this field. But I'm sure we'll also get into that a little bit later. But that's how everything started off. So that was about 5, almost 6 years ago, and still doing it to this day, happily.
No, thank you for taking us through that whole journey, because it was a really real version of how it happens. And people do, I think, start with like, oh, how to make money online, and it can go from there. But like you said, you had those testimonials, you had those real accounts of this course being good. And I'm really glad it took you to where you are now. And I know now you've been doing it for over 5 years, and you have learned a lot. And we're going to talk about this. You also work for a company that helps people automate and scale drop shipping businesses. So first of all, to get down to the practical, where should you start? What would you recommend for starting and finding those right products with drop shipping? Because I think that's, where most people think that it begins.
Yeah, so the bread and butter for when running a successful drop shipping store is just knowing what products to sell. And this is something that a lot of people get stuck on, and it's for good reasons. If you're not selling the right product, then no one's going to buy it. And then it doesn't really matter how much work you put into your business and how much hours and how much your store looks good and professional, you're not going to make any sales, and all that work will go to waste. So of course, everything starts with product research. How does it start? You're pretty much, I wouldn't say completely shooting arrows in the dark. You should know, first of all, what products you cannot sell. Start from that. So don't try to resell any big brand products. If it's a company that you've heard of, don't try to resell it. There are more than enough aftermarket manufacturers, and many most of the manufacturers that you'll come across, they don't mind that you'll drop ship their products. I mean, you're at the end of the day, you're helping them make more sales, and you're helping them source their products. But just if you learn how to stay away from the big companies, like don't try to sell iPhones, don't try to sell video game consoles, don't try to sell any big brands that you've heard of, that will already put you into the what I can sell, what categories are good for the dropshipping business model. And then here comes the actual product research. Now, there are many ways of conducting product research. I wouldn't say that there is only one really good method. There are also a lot of paid tools out there that do the hard work for you, and they can just tell you, hey, look, this product is selling well. Here are the stats. Here's how we got to that decision. But I didn't start with paid tools, and I'm not using them to this day. I tried it out for about, I think, maybe 1-2 months when I was just starting off. And then I realized that I just don't need it. I mean, manual work may take a little bit more time, but I even find more products when I'm doing the manual research myself. So there are many ways to do it, and it really depends on what selling channel you're using. Like, for example, I started off on eBay, and I'm still selling on eBay to this day. And when I used to search for products, what can I sell on eBay? I would first start inside the system and see what other sellers are selling. I'm not talking about big branded stores, but just regular sellers who are also drop shipping like me. So I go to their stores and I see what they are selling. Now, how would you know who is a drop shipper? What I would do is I would go to one of the suppliers. Like back then I used Amazon as one of my suppliers. So what I would do is I would take a product from there. I would copy the title and I would paste it on eBay. Then I could see that many sellers who are selling that same product, and some of them don't even, do any optimization. They don't optimize like the titles and the pages. So it's just like a copy paste. And then you'd see like 10, 15 other dropshippers selling that product. Then what I would do is see which seller is selling that product at a high profit margin, because I want to look for dropshippers who are profiting. I don't want to look for those who are trying to kill the competition and earn only like 20 cents profit per order. So I'm looking for the big dropshippers who know how to profit. So I would look for the biggest price difference for that product. And then I would go to that seller's store, I would enter his product listing, and then I would click on his link inside the listing to go to the store and see what other items he's selling. Then I could, you have another filter inside eBay to see what items he actually sold, not just what he listed, but what he actually sold. And that would give an indication of what he's actually, what he's successful at selling and when he actually sold it. And I would basically look for products that sell a few times in the last month. So that way I know that this product is like, it's in demand now, and it wasn't just like in demand a year ago and now, nobody cares about it anymore. That was my first product research method. And I used to just do it over and over with different suppliers, searching for their products on eBay and seeing who else is selling them, and for high profit margins, so that I could go to their stores and see what they are selling. Now, I would take these as practices. I wouldn't say, okay, he's selling a red mug that says this on it, so I'm going to sell the exact same mug that says this on it. I would look for similar products that are, products that are similar to that variation, or products that have different features but are kind of similar to it, because, if you just copy and paste what everyone else is doing, you're not going to get so far. But if you kind of take those as ideas of things that you can do in your store, and then you list them and try to sell them, that's how you're going to get your results. So at the end of the day, you could analyze thousands and thousands and thousands of sellers, but you need to add those products to your store. You need to start testing the market. And that is the best way for you to know, of course, what's going to sell and what's not. So that sums up my first product research method. Today, I'm not really researching for products anymore. I mean, after 5 years of doing this, I know at what point of the year, what season we're at, what category to go to, what niches to look for, what subcategories to look for, and just add them to my store, optimize them. And, I know that most of them are going to sell. But in the beginning, that's how I used to do it. And I think it's a very good strategy for those who want to start off manually without paying, software and tools, all kinds of money, just so that they can give you the same answers that you can find yourself.
Thank you for that practical tip, because I think a lot of people get caught up in thinking they have to buy all of these tools at the beginning. And I have to say, I don't use eBay very often, but I want to ask, is there a filter if you just get on there and you're starting to see all the products that have been selling across across eBay recently? Because that would, I guess, give me an idea of what was even popular at the moment.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, you can just go to any category that you want to sell on, and on the left side, you'll have a filter for sold items. If you don't see them, because in some menus you don't see them, you can just search for a specific category. Like you can search for pet supplies, and then on the left side, after you search for it, on the left side, you'll see sold items. If you scroll down a little bit, click on that, and then you'll see all of the listings that actually sold under pet supplies, and it'll actually sort it by when they last sold. So the top of the list is like products that just sold today and yesterday. So you can, really get the fresh products that just sold and get an idea from them of something that maybe you should be selling on your store.
Okay, great. So you had mentioned that you were looking at some of the products and you saw that their titles were not optimized. Do you use any specific tools for doing that? Because I would tell you, as a complete beginner, as a drop shipper, I wouldn't know how to do that either.
Right. So getting the right product title is, especially when you're drop shipping on eBay. And by the way, if your listeners want to drop ship in other places like Shopify, Wix, WooCommerce, that's also completely fine. I mean, all of these selling platforms are good. If you guys want to sell on Amazon, you need to optimize your titles no matter where you are selling. Okay, but in places like eBay, it's super important in all platforms. But in places like eBay, it's one of the most important things, because that's how the buyer is going to get to your listing. So when someone opens up eBay, they're opening up this app because they intend to buy. They open up eBay not because they want to learn about something, it's because they want to purchase something. People open up Google most likely because they want to learn about something. Not only, but that's one of the many reasons. For eBay, it's a purchase intent platform. So when someone is searching for something and your product title matches at least half of what they're searching for, there's a good chance that you're going to be on the first page on eBay search results. And when that happens, the people who are looking for these listings are going to find your listing. And that it completely sorry for a sec. I just have this I'm getting lots of messages. I need to turn off the program. You have an editor?
No, but that's no problem. That does happen. Sound like
Sorry about that.
Are you getting sales?
I'm just closing this down for a sec.
She's getting sales live.
Yeah, I should have thought about that before we started this. Okay, so back to where we were. So optimizing product titles is something really, really important, especially on eBay, because when you write down what people are searching for, they're going to get to your listing. And it's one of the things that I love about selling on eBay is that it offers organic traffic. This means that you simply list a product. You don't have to try to market it. You don't have to try to run pay-per-click ads or hire influencers to create a shout out on this product and, spend all that money just to get your product in front of your target audience. When you upload a listing on eBay, people can see it right away as long as they're searching for that product. So that's one of the things that I love about that platform. You don't even have to, pay money to create a subscription on eBay, to start your first store and list your first 100 or 200 listings, I think it is today. Absolutely free. They take nothing from you. So, with all of this, when it costs no money to start a business, I really think that it's at least worth looking into and giving it a shot. So optimizing product titles is something that's really important. And now, how to optimize the title the right way? How do you know what your customer is going to look for? One of the ways that I used to do it was go to my suppliers' websites. So when you go to your supplier's website, you can see the products that they can see the product that you're trying to add to your store on eBay, and you can see the customer reviews for people who bought that product, for example, on Amazon. So I would go to the product on Amazon and I would go to the customer reviews and see what customers are writing. So what I would do is, first, I've got the supplier's title, the seller's title, because you're copying and pasting the same title. Now you have to optimize this title because you don't want to have the same one as everyone else. So what you would do here is you would remove the words that are not really popular, like most likely the seller's names are always going to be on the product titles, and you're going to have more information there that's simply not so relevant. I mean, it's not super important to have these words on your title. You remove them, and then you'll have room for other words. Those other words, you can get them from reading the product reviews from people who bought that product. And then you're looking for patterns. You're looking for words that people are writing a lot on that product. That means that this is something that's important to them. This is one of the things that they were actually looking for. Another way is there are title builder tools and eBay title builder tools out there. They don't really, some cost money, but most of them, you can just find them free on Google. We also just released an eBay title builder. It doesn't cost any money. Just go to the website, type whatever you're trying to sell, and it'll give you all of the most searched keywords for the product that you're trying to sell. And that way you can easily form a good title for your product. Doesn't matter if you're drop shipping on eBay or any other place. So once again, I answered your question with full.
I just want to get that link to people.
It's on AutoDS's website. If you hover over resources on the top, you have an eBay title builder. You can use that for your titles, not just on eBay, but it's especially good for eBay. So just go. It's absolutely free to use, and it'll give you the best search results for the keywords that you're looking for, and it'll give you a short tail and long tail keywords to add to your product title. It'll make it really easy.
Great. Is it necessary also to check the popularity of each keyword as you're writing it? So, like, okay, maybe this word that doesn't seem important, I actually should keep in there.
Right. So you have like a popularity when you're looking for keywords under each keyword that you get on the results. You have like a popularity, how many times people are searching for this keyword in a month, and also what the competition for those keywords are. So you'll know if there's a lot of people who are competing for that keyword, or if you'll have a much better chance at it. So you're going to get all of these insights when searching for a title. It'll make it much easier and much more practical to create a good converting title for your eBay or any other selling platforms listings.
Right. So do you recommend that people focus on one product when they're starting, or should they try 2 to 3 or more to see what is going to work
You're
best?
asking good questions, because these are all the same questions that I asked myself when I was starting off. And I'm still seeing these questions a lot, asked by our community. So I started with a general store, and that's just because when you start with a one product store and you're not sure if that product is even in demand for that target audience that you're trying to target, then, like I said before, it doesn't matter how much work you put into it, how much you put into marketing and ads and making your store look good, it's probably not going to sell because you didn't research your products right. And product research is the part where you have to work really, 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 really hard when starting off. And product research goes on for a long time. And you need to understand this. You can't research products in 5-10 minutes. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to work. You need to test, analyze, test, analyze, test, analyze. Now, the more you do it, the more you'll start seeing results. It's inevitable. You're going to start making sales. And when you make sales, you'll take that product that sold, you'll learn from it. You'll say, okay, this product just sold. Out of the 20 that I listed, there's something here, that people are looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look for more variations that are similar to this one, and I'm going to add them also to my store. I can upsell, I can cross sell, I can simply add much more products that are similar to it, and that will also increase your chances of selling, those products too, because you already did your research and you know that this one is selling. Now, that doesn't mean that once you find a bestseller that all your stores should be just around these bestsellers, because you always want to continue researching more products and learn about more categories and niches that you haven't tapped into yet. So my point being, if you're starting with one product, it's going to be really, really difficult, okay, to make those first few sales, especially if that product is not in demand. So I would suggest starting with a general store. And then now here, many people will tell me, but if you're starting with a one product store, you can make it look good because, you're just focused on one product. But when you have like a general store, then you're selling in the home and category, you're selling in sports and outdoors, you're selling in home and kitchen, you're selling in dining products, you're selling pet supplies. How can you put all that into one store and make it make sense? So when you're selling in places like eBay, it doesn't really matter because most buyers are not going to go to your storefront and make sure that you're a big niche store under a specific niche. That usually doesn't happen. And I'm sure that you guys, anyone who's listening, if you guys ever search for a product to sell on eBay and you entered a product listing, you most likely didn't go to the seller store to see if this is his niche, right? If this is his niche. So that's one thing. If you create a store on places like Shopify, Wix, WooCommerce, and you have a general store and it's like all random with like random products, it is going to be a little bit more difficult. So you could start with a specific category, but not with just one product. Okay, you want to test out many, 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 many products in a category, and that way you'll see what starts to sell. So I would start with a general store, test the market. Don't stop testing the market, because even after a year of making sales, you're still going to look for more products to sell, those that you haven't thought of before. And I just want to take it back just another second. Don't try to guess what's going to sell. You don't know what's going to sell. Don't think that, oh, well, let's say, for example, I mean, it does make sense to think, okay, well, we got Christmas coming up, so let's sell Christmas products, or now we're in the winter season, so let's sell winter products. That is good, but what winter products are you going to sell? What Christmas products are you going to sell? That's the things that you shouldn't be guessing, and that's where product research comes in. Okay, so it's all about testing, researching, as I said. The more you research, the more you test, the more the results will follow. So to answer your question, a general store for researching the products better. When you start to nail down a product that's selling really well for you, and you want to try out that one in a one product store, you can go ahead and do that. But don't do that after your first sale. Do it after you tested the market enough and you really found some good bestsellers that's worth it, that's worth creating a one product store for.
Okay, great. Now I want to ask you about suppliers, because as a complete newbie to drop shipping, I would not know, okay, do I need to approach every supplier with like a personal email if I want to sell their product? How does that whole thing work?
Okay, so another great question. So suppliers is something that you're not going to stick just to one supplier at the end of the day, unless you found a really, really good one that's like a secret and not a lot of people know about it. But I started off drop shipping from Amazon. A lot of people say, but Amazon doesn't really allow drop shipping from their platform to another selling channel unless you are the authorized seller. But that is what people used to do. I mean, there was a huge retail arbitrage with people drop shipping from Amazon to eBay and also to other places. But that was like the big main one. And then what happened is, in time, Amazon realized that, I mean, tens of thousands of people are drop shipping these products. On the one hand, they're making more sales, but because more people are purchasing, drop shippers are purchasing from their platform and then shipping it to their eBay customers. But at some point, Amazon kind of got mad at that and said, okay, this needs to come to a stop. What we're going to do is lock buyer accounts that we see are drop shipping, that are just buying a whole bunch of products and shipping them to all kinds of different addresses and not just, to one address. That will mark them as drop shippers, and then we'll lock their accounts. So then what you need to do from there is learn to actually pivot and move and not stay in the same spot. So what happened here was thousands of drop shippers left the scene. This was a couple of years ago because they just didn't know what to do now. And they're only used to working with Amazon, and it was such a good supplier. They have like everything. And now, you have nothing because you can't work with them anymore. So thousands of drop shippers left, and that just left more pieces of the cake for drop shippers who stay in the scene and are now going to try to adapt to the new way of working. So this is just one example. There are over 25 dropshipping suppliers that you can use today. There are much more than that, but there are 25 good suppliers that you can use today that, are happy to work with you. I mean, there are wholesale dropshipping suppliers. Okay, you've got suppliers like AliExpress from day one has been super dropshipping friendly. But a lot of people don't want to dropship from AliExpress because they source from China, and people have, a stigma in China that, it's really low quality products. And that's correct if you're targeting low quality products, but there are many high quality products that also come out of China. And I'm sure that you have perfect examples for this, like the phones that we all have in our pockets and many other examples. So the other thing that people had with China is that if I'm targeting the US audience, okay, I want to drop ship to the US because it's such a huge market, but I keep shipping them products from China and my customers are getting mad that it's taking so long. It's taking 2 to 3 weeks for a product to arrive. They want to wait 2, 3, 5 days tops. So what you can do there is look for other suppliers, okay, that are like AliExpress that actually have warehouses in the US, and many of them exist, including AliExpress, who started opening up a lot of warehouses in the US. So today, when I'm browsing suppliers like AliExpress, when you're searching for something, on the filters on top, you have a ships from. And if you click on the ships from and you choose ships from United States, for example, if you want to drop ship to the United States, if you want to sell to the United States or any other country like the UK or Australia, you want to be able to ship domestically. This will simply give them much, much faster shipping times. Shipping domestically means that I need to find goods that are stored in a warehouse that's in the same country or city or state that my target audience reside in. So if I'm drop shipping to the US, I want to look for products that are stored in the US. If I'm drop shipping to Australia, I want to look for products that are being stored in Australia. So AliExpress has this feature now where you can check what products are being shipped from the US or any other country. And that way, you know that those products at least are going to ship quickly to your target audience. You can do that on AliExpress and many other suppliers that started as Chinese-based suppliers that now have warehouses in the US and also all around the world, like CJ Dropshipping, Wayfair, and many more that cannot come to my head at the moment. But today I'm working with multiple dropshipping suppliers, and this is one of the biggest tips that I can give out is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. It's a known saying, and it's really, really relevant here in the dropshipping scene. Sometimes your supplier is going to let you down and you don't want that. So you want to work with multiple suppliers. You don't want to lean only on one. So if Amazon lets you down, you have AliExpress. If AliExpress lets you down, you have CJ Dropshipping. If CJ Dropshipping lets you down, but you always want to work with a few and not only with, like, let's say you want to work with 3 suppliers, make also sure that they're from different regions, because Chinese suppliers also have Chinese holidays. And that means that sometimes they'll be out of here for like 2 to 3 weeks. You'll have no one to talk to, no agents, and no way to ship out your products. And that is a good time to switch to an alternative that can ship from, that can ship out this product now, maybe that has warehouses somewhere else and they can ship it out. So don't always lean on one supplier. There are many dropshipping friendly suppliers that you can work with today that will help your dropshipping business thrive and prosper.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, we only have about 10 minutes left, so I do want to get into the automate and scale part of this, because I know you're working right now with Autodesk that I think you were using first you were a customer at the beginning. And how can we automate and scale? Because I think this kind of business can become very overwhelming if you were doing it all yourself with the customer service piece and everything.
Right. So I took too much time with my questions. We didn't really get to the good stuff of like giving really good dropshipping tips, but maybe we can do it another time. I've been working on AutoDS. This is yeah, and I'll try to keep my answer shorter next time. But in general, AutoDS is a software. It's a software as a service. It's an online platform where you can simply automate your dropshipping businesses. Now, what happened was I started using AutoDS when I was when I first started dropshipping, and after 2 years of being a customer, I was like, this platform is like really good. It's like it feels like it's before its time. So I reached out to the owner and I just gave him a couple of tips because I don't know, I just felt like doing it. And one thing led to another. We started talking, and now I'm working full time in AutoDS as the content manager, just pumping out valuable content all the time for dropshippers, for e-commerce store owners, for people that simply want to learn from A to Z how to start a successful dropshipping business, how to do product research, audience research, no matter where you're dropshipping from and to. And we simply have, I mean, first of all, the roadmap is crazy, and everything that we did up until today is also crazy. I mean, but basically what it is it's a software that helps you automate your dropshipping business. Now, what does that mean? Price and stock monitoring. Okay, so For example, if I have 100 products now on my store or 1,000 products on my store, I won't go to my suppliers' websites every day to see if the price has changed, so that I could also change it accordingly in my store, so that I won't lose money on an order. Or if the products go out of stock, I also want it to go out of stock on my store also. So if my supplier is out of stock, I'm also out of stock. So all of that is completely automated for you. That's price and stock monitoring, also quick product importing. So I can import one product to my store in just a matter of seconds, instead of copying and pasting the title, the description, downloading all the images, uploading all the images. In just one click, I can get it from my supplier's website to my dropshipping store. And also, products in bulk. I can import hundreds or even thousands of products that I see on one page into my store in just a click of a button. So it saves you a whole lot of time when it comes to that. Automatic orders, support for virtual assistants to help run your store, customer support, and so much more automated orders. I think I already said that. Automatic tracking number updates. So as soon as an order comes in, even while you're traveling, even while you're sleeping, it gets automated. The order gets processed and sent out to your buyer, and tracking information also gets updated automatically, so your buyer always knows what's happening. And I'm really trying to run fast with this, but that's just, the tip of the iceberg for the types of things that automation solutions like AutoDS can do for you. And it's been over 5 years now. I'm still a customer to the platform, by the way. If I need anything, I open up like a chat ticket, like a chat support ticket, just like everyone else. No one knows that, it's Liran, the content manager here at AutoDS, opening up tickets. So, and I like that. I like having the customer point of view to really understand, the customer's experience, while always teaching our community how to run successful stores, from the beginning to end, no matter what level you're on, whether you're just taking interest, whether you already got started and didn't make sales, whether you already made sales and now you're ready to scale. So no matter what level you're on, we're always here to help. And yeah, that's the main thing that we have here at AutoDS. The content department that I manage is simply doing an amazing job teaching our community, keeping them up to date, making sure that they have all of the best and newest features that always come out in the system, and so much more that we have going on. I host bi-weekly live Q&As with our community, and I answer, I'm like sitting in front of, whoever wants to sit in front of me, and I talk with them. I do that every 2 weeks, so just live Q&A sessions and, videos and blogs that we upload at least 2 to 3 times a week with fresh new content. And we're always trying to stay, one step ahead, and making sure that our community is also one step ahead of their competition.
Thank you so much, Liran. So if we want to get this information, where can we go? Do you have an Instagram and a Facebook, or where is Autodesk giving these updates?
Yeah, we're pretty much on every social media platform, but if you just head over to autods.com, that's auto, AUTODS, like dropshipping.com. So autods.com, you have everything there. All of our resources, our blogs, our videos, the software itself, if you want to use it. You have all of these fee calculators and all of these title builders and all of these tools that you can use for free. You don't even have to be a member of the system. And so, yeah, we're out here just to help you out. And if the software helps you out along the way, then why not use it? It'll definitely help you scale your business and reach profits that maybe before you wouldn't think was possible.
Thank you so much. I think this is a really great introduction to drop shipping. I think if people weren't considering it before as a business, this is a great entry point for them to consider it, because as you said, it is getting harder and harder to be able to just make a normal living these days. And so we've got to get creative, and we've got to push hard to make these things work.
Right. And as much as I wanted to dive down deep inside, it's hard to do it in one session. So yeah, you pretty much said it well. This is a good introduction to the world of drop shipping.
Thank you so much, Liran. I look forward to, I hope we can speak again in a follow-up, because this is such valuable content.
Me too. Thank you, Becky. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.